This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Road trip continues, and tonight it is game number 2. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates from PNC Park. Welcome to our Bally Studios here in St. Louis with Rick Ankiel, the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us, and it is an Uncle Charlie night as Adam Wainwright gets the start for St. Louis, looking for win number 11. Rick, you had one of the best breaking balls the game has seen. Old Uncle Charlie, there's a reason that he goes by that nickname. He's got a pretty good one, too.
He's got a really good one, and in fact, it's more than just one curveball. And what I mean by that, when it's an 0-0 count, you'll see it start higher. Then you'll see the shorter one. So not only does he plus and minus with the miles per hour, but he can change the shape of it. And that's how he throws it off of that fastball and gets guys to commit and gets guys to take it for a strike 3.
Now, on the other side, it's not only what he does with the curveball, but then this can feed off of that as well, and vice versa.
Yeah, Rick, I'm going to go with the fastball. I like the fastball. He's now throwing the ball inside a little bit more. He's got that little eraser X that he can throw in and run it back across the plate. And he works the four-seamer on both sides of the plate also now with the cutter. So the fastball is what's going to set up that curveball.
No doubt. The fastball, the curveball, it's added up to another 10-win campaign for Adam Wainwright. Starting the game last night, Tommy Edman a home run, Paul DeYoung added to that. 3-hit night for Dylan Carlson. Pirates Cardinals coming up on Bally Sports. Have won 8 straight at PNC Park, and in the last 20, they are 18-2, dominating fashion over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mike Shildt was named manager back on July 15th of 2018. He himself at the helm of the Cardinals, 18-3 in the 21 games that he's been a manager of the Cardinals in Pittsburgh, and we'll see if that will continue tonight. It is 80 degrees in Pittsburgh, along with Rick Ankiel, Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're coming to you from our studios in St. Louis at Bally Sports. Cardinals game number 2 at PNC Park. They're back to 500, 56-56. The Pirates, it has been a rough season again, 41-72. Dylan Carlson at the top of the lineup, then Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Tyler O'Neill, Yadier Molina, Harrison Bader, Paul DeYoung, Tommy Edman hit leadoff last night in the 8th spot tonight, and the pitcher Adam Wainwright batting 9th. And the Cardinals will face right-handed pitcher Will Crowe. He is 3-6 this year with a 5.47 ERA. Now, Crowe last time out lost to the Reds. That was Thursday. Gave up 7 runs, 3 homers in 4 innings in that 7-4 Pirates defeat. Hyundai pitch arsenal, Rick Ankiel, what does he feature?
He's got a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. You'll see 4-seam and slider quite a bit. That's what he wants to stick to. The Cardinals need to jump on him early.
Cardinals saw him at PNC earlier this season. He was traded by Washington to Pittsburgh, and he'll be matched up against Adam Wainwright tonight. Toyota, key to the game. What do we have?
Kick them while they're down. And what that means is exactly like Ballgame was talking last night. The Pirates, they're not playing for anything but personal numbers. Get on them early, and they'll have the mindset of here we go again.
We had started with the first batter of last night's game, Tommy Edman, with a leadoff homer.
Are you a little bit surprised to see the, I'm not going to call it the shakeup, but the lineup change today with Edman now all the way down in the 8-hole? Or is that just back to kind of what you thought?
Going back and forth, you know. It's been Carlson, Edman, Carlson.
Thought it was a little bit surprising after having those 2 guys back to back yesterday and having a pretty successful game. And here we go again with the strike zone.
I was surprised, but then it changes almost into the same lineup once you get Tommy Edman coming up in the bottom.
Sure does. Get through that first time through a lineup. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. It was a 3-hit night for Dylan Carlson, who was playing left field last night. And tonight he shifts over to right. He has scored a run in 6 consecutive games. Last time a Cardinal scored in 7 straight. Harrison Bader back in 2018. Cardinals have also scored in the first inning in 4 straight games. So going back to Rick's key to the game, that's important if you can get that lead early on. Good breaking ball. Carlson strikes out, and that's how we begin tonight's game, number 2. Pirates defensively around the horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Moran, Castro, Park, and Hayes on the infield. Michael Perez is the catcher tonight. And in the outfield, Alford, Reynolds, and Polanco. Here's Paul Goldschmidt with 1 out and nobody on, and that pitch taken for a ball outside.
I just really thought that yesterday with that lineup, those situation, especially just taking advantage of what we just saw with Dylan Carlson. I think that Tommy Edman is just a really good leadoff hitter as far as the way he handles each at bat. And then I think that you have a really good hitter in Dylan Carlson, and he can be patient, but it's not the same. So in the 2-hole, now he gets to see what Tommy gets faced with a little bit, and then he is now hitting in front of Goldie. And then I like that he has good at bats, but he doesn't have as good at bats as Tommy Edman. So now you got 2 guys back to back, and then all of a sudden now you're looking at Goldschmidt and Arenado coming up if you're the pitcher, and you're not out of the woods yet, even with 2 outs and Goldie coming up. And that was Goldie getting out of there, and then Arenado coming up. So I just thought it was a little interesting. I loved the way that lineup worked out yesterday. Just really thought that you could have just slotted it that way and just pushed everyone down 1 today.
So it's a 1-out walk to Goldie. Nolan Arenado against the Pirates this year, 306 average and 8 extra base hits.
I mean, I think that in Hank, I think you can understand this too as a pitcher, but anyone can lead off. You just have to give a good at bat. What I'm saying is there's different types of leadoff, right? There's the leadoff with Tommy Edman. There's the leadoff with Dylan Carlson, and you get a little bit more of maybe pitch selection with Tommy, and then you get a little bit more power and doubles and maybe some more thump with Dylan. So take your choice. I like them both back to back.
I like the speed, that's for sure, because you got 2 guys that can motor, and you got them back to back. You got a chance to get 1 on, before the big guys come up.
Right now, a tight zone. Had a pitch that maybe caught the top of the zone with Goldie, didn't get the call. That one apparently low, and that is a strike, 1-1. Crow picked up his first win against the Cardinals. That was back at Busch, 25th of June. 4 runs in 5 innings, and the Pirates held on 5-4. The other start was here at PNC, May 2nd, 3 runs in 5 innings. And a strike at the knees.
Good sinker in the bottom of the zone.
The 1-2 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Hit up the middle, double play ball. Stepping on the bag will be Castro, and 4-3 on the double play. Adam Wainwright is on the mound for St. Louis. Pirates coming up in the home half of the first, and there's no score. Season numbers for Adam Wainwright, who has not lost to the Pirates since April 3rd of 2016. Since then, 7-0, 15 starts against Pittsburgh. The Cardinals have won 12 of the 15. Hank, how about the Hyundai pitch arsenal?
Well, you see the 2-seam fastball, the 4-seam fastball, the cutter, the changeup in old Uncle Charlie. 35%. That is second in the league to Charlie Morton. And we know that it is a very effective pitch. It's more than one pitch if you look at it that way, by the way that he does plus and minus on the miles per hour and changes the shape of it. So expect to see a few of those tonight.
He's had the second most called and swinging strikes on the curve, trailing only the aforementioned Charlie Morton. It's been a great pitch again. Park homered last night for the only base hit that the Pirates had. And then it's Hayes, Reynolds, Moran in there, Castro, Polanco, Alford, Perez, and Crow. And the first pitch is taken down and in, and we're underway here in the bottom of the first. Park is 7 for 23 from the leadoff spot, and he has hit safely in 7 of 8 since coming over from the Yankees. 1-1. Waino, guys, will turn 40 in less than 3 weeks. And he has been one of the best the Cardinals have thrown out there this season. It's amazing. You guys both played with him. Jimmy, I'll start with you. What are you seeing out of Adam Wainwright here in 2021?
You're really not seeing anything different. I think that, you know, the last couple years that we were watching when he was fighting through injuries, maybe not last year, but the year before and the year before, he talked about maybe never pitching again. We've gone from retirement to changing arm slots to, oh my gosh, my arm is feeling better, to coming back from the offseason feeling great, and then now these 2 years back to back. So I just think he's healthy again, and if he keeps his velocity 90-91 with his stuff, I think he'll be fine. I think he can keep going. I don't know why you wouldn't.
What do you see, Yank?
Yeah, the same. I mean, I think first you have to listen to Adam, and he said in spring training, this is the best I've felt in a long time. And then, you know, I've said this before, but the league with everybody, there's so many throwers out there throwing balls all over the place as hard as they can, that now the guys who can actually pitch and take advantage of making pitches in and around the strike zone, I don't want to say it's getting easier, but in a way, I think it is, because I think hitters are now having a harder time hitting those guys because they're used to just trying to hit 95 to 98 with guys trying to blow it by them.
Well, I think that's a great point, too, because you know what? Hitters are not used to having to think anymore. Now you got to think along with Adam, and that's frightful because when you start thinking as a hitter, you're done, and that is what he's making guys do.
Derek Shelton letting the home plate umpire hear about it. Edwin Moscaso fielding Colbert down at first. Ryan Blakeney at second. DJ Rayburn at third. When you've been doing it as long as Adam, sometimes you get those calls.
Should.
That's the advantage of having a guy back there for the umpire.
And the strike to Ke'Bryan Hayes, 6 for his last 18 with a double home run, and he's driven in a pair. 59 games this year, dealt with injury earlier this season. 0-2. And I'm with Yank. I don't, if you asked Adam, is it easier now? Of course he's going to say no, I would assume, but man, it looks easier for him.
Well, I think that it's not really any easier, that he's just not having any trouble getting to where he wants to go versus when he was not healthy.
Outside corner, that'll go Waino's way. Back-to-back Ks.
I'll tell you what, if he gets the strike zone today, look out.
Yep.
And he's not going to be around very long if that's the case.
By the way, Yadier Molina with the first out recorded, and now number 2, passes Gary Carter, 5th place all time in innings caught. Guys, he has caught 17,369 and a third innings.
And who's counting?
Wow. So back-to-back strikeouts looking, and now Brian Reynolds.
You know, I don't know if you noticed that last sinker without the strike zone box there, but when you take the strike zone box away, they actually look like more of a strike.
Well, you're hitting the catcher, right? Isn't that the whole idea, Hank? I mean, you're going to get a little if you're consistent, especially when you got a guy like Yachty setting up and you hit the glove. By the way, there is no strike zone out there on the field for the umpire to look at. He's got to judge the ball, by the way. Yeah, he doesn't have the bally box. He's got to go on how the umpire or how the catcher catches the ball.
Well, and as we know, the bally box, let's call it, isn't accurate as far as if you go at all the angles at the cameras that they have. It's not always 100% accurate.
The 2-0 pitch to Brian Reynolds. Ground ball hit to the right side, taken there by Tommy Edman, and a 1-2-3 for Adam Wainwright. Coming up for St. Louis, O'Neill, Molina, and Bader. Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Beautiful night at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. You'll have to guess the attendance and name them.
I was impressed last night. You said over 10,000.
Over 10,000.
I thought that was maybe not the norm.
Did that count the pups that were in the stands?
You bet it did.
The bark in the park.
There's Tyler O'Neill. Good to see him back in the lineup. He had his second COVID shot and didn't feel great, so out of the lineup. Says he feels fine today and back in there. Fastball catches the inside corner.
It's be an interesting matchup today with Crow versus these right-handers. He's struggled to getting right-handers out this year. Right-handers are batting .322 this year against him, and one thing he's got going for him so far is his strike zone.
The 0-2 pitch fought off by O'Neill. Crow was brought over from Washington. He was traded for Josh Bell. Professional sports can be tough because he found out Christmas Eve that he was traded. He was watching Home Alone 2, and his Christmas presents to everybody in his family were jerseys that were
no
national jerseys. So he scrapped that and then got the Pittsburgh jerseys, and here he is.
Why does it not surprise me at all the way this world works?
Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Hope Santa's good to you. And by the way, adios out of Washington.
By the way, what a random trade day.
Usually it's like a day, maybe two before Christmas until through the New Year's. It's not official, but baseball kind of says, hey, we're
pretty much the world pretty much says, hey,
we're
take
done
a break.
doing business. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Will Crow. Decide baseball's biggest blooper, and you can win your own air-free fan experience. Fill out MLB Oops bracket presented by Mattress Firm at MLB.com/bracket for your chance to win. Restrictions apply. See official rules. Here's Molina. And a ground ball that's hit to third. Brian Hayes out number 2. What's been interesting in watching Crow, and I know, Ank, you dive into the numbers. Last year with Washington, his average fastball velocity was around 91, and he had no pitches above 95. This year, completely different. He has changed some things. He said that he calls it heel connection, an organizational philosophy of keeping his heel flat on the mound through most of his delivery. Now, the Pirates showed data about this. If you can do that, they got him away from 2-seamers, more 4-seamers. And I'm curious if you've heard that and experienced that in your own time on the mound.
No, never heard of the heel connection. You know, obviously the 4-seamer usually is faster than the 2-seamer because you have less movement. But no, never heard of that. That's interesting. Makes me want to go try it.
Why not? And then with his slider, which he's throwing much sharper this year, it was Joel Hanrahan. You guys may remember him. Pitched in the big leagues, long time. Hank, you may have played with him in Washington, but the pitching coach now for their AAA affiliate, and he told Crow that his windup was way too quick when he threw his sliders, so they've slowed him down, Hank, on that, and obviously that can make a difference too.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, when I teach kids curveballs or breaking stuff, you want to really keep your weight back and keep your chest up and let your arm be what makes you follow through. So I can understand if he got too quick, you know, his weight got way too out there and he wasn't able to get out front and really snap it off.
Sure.
Take a look at Bader's back foot. It's like has moved closer to the plate with probably good 4-6 inches tonight.
You guys noticed too how much his hands have dropped?
Mm-hmm.
Talked to him the other day about that. There's the feet.
Look where he's at. Look at the angle when you see the overhead. It's made it a big adjustment moving closer to the plate. Maybe he just wants to cover more, but that's really close.
Lifts a fly ball to Gregory Polanco in right field. Midway through 2. And there's no score. Park in Pittsburgh, and we check in with the Cat.
Danny, Tyler O'Neill back in the lineup tonight, and that is a good thing. Tyler has been on a roll. In his previous 6 games, Tyler 10 for 19, including 5 walks. He told me being more selective has been the key for him. He told me, I really think I'm starting to learn the big leagues. With video and tracking tendencies, I have a clearer idea of what I need to do. Tyler also leads the major leagues among players with 3 homers or more in fastest time circling the bases after a homer, 18.7 seconds. Why does he put his head down and run so fast? He told me, I'm not about hype. I just want to get her done.
Get her done, and that's what Waino was trying to do on that comebacker. You could see he's frustrated. That one off his glove. And Colin Moran is aboard. Base hit.
Well, he's wishing he didn't even get a piece of that. He knows that the second baseman would have been able to make that play, or DeYoung that's back there, but that's a hard decision in .01 seconds while you're standing.
to catch it or not to catch it.
Exactly.
It's not only that, guys, but then you put in the advent of the shift and trying to figure out from guy to guy, pitch to pitch, where are my infielders? And it's also just reaction. Hank, you know that better than anybody. If it's out there, you're going to try to go get it.
Yep, and that wasn't hit that hard, right? So it's like, I think I got it. And a little bit of a gator arm there.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a changeup hit back to him, I think.
There's Gregory Polanco. You know, in 2018, 130 games, 23 home runs, drove in 81. And you thought, okay, this is the kind of player that he is supposed to be. And then it was September 7th. He was hitting against the Marlins, tried to stretch a single into a double, and it was an awkward, terrible slide, and he hurt his shoulder. And since that time, never really has been the kind of player that they thought, because he was back in about 7.5 months. But then 2 months later after that, he had shoulder inflammation. Rehab didn't go well, and 2019 was over. There's a ground ball, and that's a double play. The turn by Edman, 6-4-3. So when you have this guy, Castro, who's got the power that we talked about last night, getting in front of Polanco, you're hoping he gets back to 2018.
This is tailor-made right here, too. It's a nice job. And this is exactly what you need to do when you're Adam, is you just got to get past letting that guy get on first base and go out there and try to get that ground ball double play. And all of a sudden, voila.
So last year, Polanco got COVID-19. That slowed him down. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him going forward.
What I noticed immediately with Polanco is when he was on fire, he just looked like he was swinging easy. Everything looked like he was taking his time. He wasn't trying too hard, and now it seems rushed. It seems like he's trying to do damage. It just seems like a completely different swing.
That's what we were talking about with Bell earlier in the year. Remember that, Danny? Same type of player, same type of swing. It's like all of a sudden something happens, and I feel like he's 29 now, too. This is the year when you start to play, maybe start to really come into your own. So if you have the talent and you're paying attention at all, it really starts to kick in at 29. Some guys it takes longer than others.
He's now 1 for his last 20. We're through 2, and there's no score. 7, 8, and 9 for the Cardinals. Top of the third rolls in. DeYoung, Edman, and Wainwright. Last night for Paul DeYoung, home run number 15. So this year against the Pirates, a .231 average, but 5 of his last 10 hits at PNC have gone over the wall for a home run. He loves hitting at this ballpark in terms of what he can do with the power. He had the 3 home run night a couple of years ago in Pittsburgh, and leads it off here in the top of the third.
Well, it's a really good place to hit. First of all, one, it's got an amazing background, and 2, I feel like, especially right-handed, you can stay on the ball and drive the ball the other way and feel pretty confident that you can, juice the ball the other way for a homer. And when that happens, you accidentally pull homers. So opposite for a lefty, I felt like you had to really hit the heck out of the ball to left center field to get it out of there. So you had to be careful not to overswing.
Line to third into the glove of Hayes, and the first out.
basically Paul DeYoung's year right there in a nutshell.
That's frustrating. All right, here's Tommy Edman at his second career leadoff homer last night. And that's how this series began against Stephen Brault.
That ball was hammered.
It was home run number 7 for Tommy. Hitting on the other side of the plate now. And Adam Wainwright on deck. Just a bit low. I love hearing you guys talk about the lineup construction.
The
Lineups get so much attention day in and day out, especially in a baseball crazed city like St. Louis. So Edman lead off and now batting 8th.
Well, but I think it's interesting if you think about how I said it too. Anyone can lead off, but what type of leadoff hitter would you like?
You go Kyle Schwarber, who hits bombs.
Exactly. You got a
Anthony
guy.
Rizzo, this guy.
On your team, you got a guy here that's going to give you good at-bats pretty much all the time. You got another guy who's going to give you good at-bats, maybe not as in-depth, but with some more power.
And Tommy hits it out to center. Brian Reynolds. Pirates were a little concerned about playing Reynolds in center going into this year. Metrics have not been good, but they talk about the jumps that he gets. And Hank, you know all about the outfield. I can give you all the numbers and metrics. It's about getting a good jump.
It is about getting the jump, and there's a lot of things that go into that. Knowing your pitcher, can he hit his spots, knowing what pitch he's going to throw, whether you're getting that from an infielder, can you see the signs all the way from the catcher, and then where your manager allows you to play, because sometimes managers won't allow you to play in like you want to, or they force you to play a little bit farther back.
Sounds like the guy next to me when I talk him about outfield defense. Wonder who you heard that from.
Well, you can also see too, we just had a nice look at him right behind him. It's only 390 something. So you're not playing in a big park here. And the gap, the only gap you need to worry about in this ballpark, and out of all 3 outfielders, are his left center. So you basically don't have to worry about the left field or the right field line in either the right center field gap. So this field gets really nice and small for those 3 guys out there in the outfield.
This has been odd this season. Wainwright 1 for 36. He's never struggled like this at the plate. 0 for his last 25 with 9 strikeouts.
Concentration on the mound has taken over.
Oh, is that what it is? I like it.
He's given up a little hitting for some pitching. I guess that's probably his job first.
I think you notice the age more as a hitter than you do as a pitcher.
That might be true.
I know as I got older, back got a little slower. I used to be able to sit on an off speed and still hit a fastball if it was out over. And the older I got, that changed fast.
And a strike 1 and 2. Well, Crow has been averaging 19 pitches per inning coming into this start. Doesn't last long into games, but so far, as he is a strike away from 3 innings, he's at number 34 here.
You know, I thought was interesting, another stat that I saw other than the right-handers having success against him. This strike percentage is the 3rd lowest in all of baseball at just 59%. That's another thing that is troubling for a pitcher. Clearly you would imagine, but you can't throw strikes. It's tough to get guys out.
Ground ball that's hit to Hayes, and Adam Wainwright, the 3rd out. And Crow is settled in. Beautiful statue of Roberto Clemente, 317 career hitter, 3,000 hits, 12 Gold Gloves, 4 batting titles. As a matter of fact, guys, the year he didn't win the batting title, he won the MVP. He was on a plane overloaded with relief supplies that crashed into the Atlantic on New Year's Eve of 1972. And he was headed to earthquake-stricken Nicaragua, one of the greatest arms that we've ever seen in the outfield. And it was 3 days after his death. The Hall of Fame waived the customary 5-year waiting period to be elected to the Hall. And that waiting period has been waived for only one other player, Lou Gehrig. The wall in right, 21 feet high. to honor Roberto. There's the bridge that takes you from downtown to the ballpark. And one of the greatest players that baseball has ever seen, Roberto Clemente.
It's incredible, all the things you hear that he was as a player. You hear just as many things that he was an even better person, which is crazy.
Absolutely. 21 feet high there in right field. 9 other players have had their number retired by the Pirates. Number 21 retired. There was talk that they wanted to name the stadium after him. That did not happen, and that's why you have the Roberto Clemente Bridge.
Not last year. He played in 1972. He was 37 years old, and he hit .312 still.
Yep.
All-Star and a Gold Glove in that last year at 37 years old. Pretty impressive.
How about the arm, guys? When you see that, it's kind of I can't say this to Rick. You didn't have his arm, but you had the accuracy. But you just don't see that in today's game as much. Not nearly as much.
No, you definitely don't see the type of arm. You might see one guy here and there, but you don't see anyone throw like that. I mean, when's the last time you saw a guy throw like that? I think back to, and to be honest with you, I think back to Guerrero, that really threw.
Yep.
Like that you said, oh man, watch this. I mean, there's some guys that can throw.
Ichiro is one of those. Very good arm.
I've seen Guerrero throw one in Jupiter in spring training. He was in the right field corner, and he tried to throw the guy out at third. And he probably threw it 10 rows deep into the stands. But it was the strongest throw
Wasn't that
I think
against
I'd ever
us?
seen. Yeah.
There's a fly ball by Alford, the left fielder, to the right fielder, Dylan Carlson, and the first out here in the third. Well, the Cardinals with the return of Tyler O'Neill. He's in left, Bader in center, Carlson in right. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Arenado, DeYoung, Edman, Goldie on the infield, and Molina behind the plate. So Wainwright, first couple of innings, only took 20 pitches, 2 strikeouts, then 4 straight ground balls. But for whatever reason, the third innings have been problematic for him. Third inning ERA is like 8.5, and everything else is right around 3 or 2.5. Some are at 1. 7th inning on, he's just above 1.
That's just basically the third inning, is usually about maybe 1, 2, and 3 coming through the lineup again.
Eighth place hitter, Michael Perez. Two balls and 1 strike. Perez with 7 home runs. He's driven in 16 this year. The 2-1 pitch. Tapped foul. Waino has recorded now 11 10-win seasons. Only 3 have done that in the history of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jesse Haynes, Bob Gibson had 14 of them. And last night it was Jay Happ who was terrific for St. Louis, pounding the strike zone. First 2 starts, he's been well over 70% strikes. Rick, what do you see as you had a chance to kind of sleep on it, think about it? What had the Pirates baffled from Jay Happ? What do you see?
His ability to throw strikes with the fastball and how effective the fastball was. He threw it over 70% of the time, in, out, up, using all parts of the strike zone, just really getting guys, look like they didn't have any idea what to look for.
Tommy Edman in shallow right, and that's out number 2. Now time for a Kia player profile, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. This is good to see. First 4 starts, and this has kind of been the track record last couple of years. Waino, awesome at home, struggles on the road, struggled earlier this year, but his last 4 compared to the first 4, a different pitcher.
Yeah, it's putting it together for sure. It's one of those guys that just keeps getting stronger and stronger. I don't think he pitched that bad at the beginning of the year too. He just had some bad luck, couple of walks. It was that, like you said, that 1 inning maybe wasn't getting him through the game, and then all of a sudden, bingo.
He's a Georgia boy. It gets a little hotter.
And get the heat.
When it's cold, it's harder to throw curveballs.
It's true.
0-2 the count on Will Crow. Cardinals looking ahead to the fourth, have the top of the lineup coming up. We've had one hit in this game, and that was Colin Moran off the glove of Waino. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Adam Wainwright. 3 innings in the books, and there's no score. $30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a replica 1985 National League Champions Mystery Player Ring on Saturday, August 21st. Courtesy of Edward Jones, individual player rings will celebrate a few of the top players from the 85 NLCS team. Great tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. And the T-Mobile coverage cam shows a lot of coverage of dark clouds overhead. It looks to be awfully nasty. The weather, inclement weather, coming into Pittsburgh. Along with Rick Ankiel, Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're in our studios at Valley Sports. This has been fun. Our 3-man booth. Love it. Top of the lineup here for Will Crow to deal with. He walked Goldschmidt first time through this lineup, retired him on a double play. No hits first time through. And that's a first in the career of Will Crow. Had never done that before without giving up just 1 hit. So let's see what adjustments the Cardinals make and Will Clark, or rather Will Crow, will make.
I like Will Clark. I'd like to see him on the mound. That puss arm he had.
I'd love to take Will Clark deep.
I tell you, I miss that sweet swing, man.
Told you he cussed me out after I hit my very first home run. I walked the next time up. He was all over me from the other team.
Hank, was he tough on you?
In a good way. It was it was fun. Yeah.
I mean, you took it in, and this was, you know, you were a young guy. He's a veteran. He's going to give you trouble, but you knew it was all in good fun, and he wouldn't do it unless he respected you, too.
Exactly. The first game he was here, the game was over. I think I was in the food room, and I heard somebody yelling, "Rookie!" Because he was my locker mate. So I get in there, and he's like, "Every time the game's over, there better be 2 beers in my locker with the labels facing out." It was hilarious. So the next game, next game ended, I sprinted to the locker room to make sure they got there.
That's great.
The good old days.
I just remember being on the plane and how vocal and loud he would be with one J.D. Drew.
Yep.
He was all over him.
Loved getting on J.D.
Here's the 0-2. Change up taken low, and it's 1-2. He had one of the sweetest swings in baseball. Will Clark.
You could take Nolan Ryan deep your first game. That means something, don't it?
Absolutely.
In the Astrodome? Woo!
It's a bomb, too.
Will Clark hit .345 in that 2000 postseason. Cardinals would have loved to have had him back, but he said, nope, I'm done. That's it. And the rest is history. They're getting the ponchos out, so I guess the rain may be falling a bit, or they're getting ready for it.
It's a good parent. Got the son ready first.
Yeah. The 2-2. And back-to-back strikeouts for Dylan Carlson. 4 tonight for Crow. While we have a moment, quick word from Rally House.
Get ready for kickoff, St. Louis. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Chiefs 2021 sideline gear and the latest college styles.
That pitch taken inside by Golding. Walked his first time up, and the only base runner the Cardinals have had. He was erased then on a double play. The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not a whole lot of offense so far, and I'll tell you what, Crow's doing a nice job. I went back and looked at a couple of starts before tonight. Most of his fastballs were away and out over the plate. And I was telling you that he doesn't throw a lot of strikes, so maybe the adjustment he's been making is pounding the zone a little bit more. He's obviously trying to pitch in a little bit. Struggles against right-handers, and it doesn't look like that is part of the game plan tonight. He's being super aggressive, and going after guys.
Well, second half, 4 starts, 2-1. Cut the ERA almost in half. Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
You could definitely see if he can get that fastball in for a strike to the righties, how devastating that slider cutter is going to be.
Outfield is deep, just about straight away. Fouled back. Big Cardinal fan. Pete Wilson, 82 years young, never misses a ball game on Bally Sports, and happy birthday, Pete Wilson, 82. Goldschmidt, a .295 career hitter with 17 home runs against the Pirates, and lines it out to left. Drops in for a base hit. Cardinals have their first hit coming with 1 out here in the 4th.
Pretty good pitch right here. Good piece of hitting. So one thing he did was he went in early and looked like he got Goldie thinking in. And he clinched on everything away, and then when he came back in, he was ready. Had have stayed outside, he might have had a little tapper to second base.
Well, rain starting to fall in Pittsburgh.
Goldie wasn't getting beat on that inside fastball.
No, he wasn't. Nolan Arenado grounded to second, turned into a double play, and looks at a pitch high. Cardinals need to get him going if they're going to do anything to get back in this race.
Two-run bomb, get 5.5 in, and take it to the house.
I love it. And a grounder, foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the crew chief. It's on his shoulders at this point.
Fielding
Colbreth.
It's on his shoulders. Makes him feel good.
Yep.
Temperature just dropped 20 degrees.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Ooh. Ooh. 2-1. What a swing pitch that is as Crow steps away, and that looked to be a strike.
Pretty good pitch right there.
If he's a little lower in the lineup, maybe to 6, 7, or 8, he probably gets that called a strike.
And you're being serious. I agree with you. The 2-1 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Off the plate, 3-1. Cardinals allowed just 1 hit, 9 innings last night. First time they've done that to a team on the road since 2009. Chris Carpenter, complete game shutout in 2009 against Milwaukee at their ballpark.
Talk about somebody fun to play behind as an outfielder. Playing behind Chris Carpenter was a treat.
Fun to watch, too.
Fun to watch. He was intense, but he made his pitches. Sinker, cutter. If he got to a 1-0 or a 2-0 count on a lefty, talk about playing in. You could just walk in another 15 feet because most likely the lefty was going to take a bigger swing, get jammed, and you were going to come in and catch the flare.
Little cutter in on the hands.
Yep.
A lot of times. Carp will be back in St. Louis a week from this weekend with the Cardinals Hall of Fame. 3-2 pitch. Goldschmidt running, pitch taken high and taken for a ball. Second walk issued by Crow. Cardinals have something going now. Runners at first and second and only 1 out. The last time the Cardinals held the Pirates to 1 hit, or less. Bob Gibson's no-hitter 50 years ago this week, back in 1971 at Three Rivers Stadium.
Wow, I love how you know that stuff. Brain. In the brain there somewhere.
Just got to dig, baby.
Big brain.
What are you saying there, Hank?
I'm saying you got a steel trap up there.
Sometimes.
Steel trap.
Here's O'Neill. Off the mask of Michael Perez.
Ouch. Look at the paint.
He let it get deep.
Cardinals are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position in this series. And the 0-1 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Was also this week in 07. One of my partners made his return as a position player for good. A famous home run at Busch Stadium against the Padres, one Rick Ankiel.
Mama, there goes that man again.
The only man in the Major League history to make it to the big leagues twice.
But different positions like
That's
that.
what I mean, though. Think about that. Twice he had to get to the big leagues. Work his way up. Incredible.
And it was this date in 07, 2 home run game against the Dodgers for Rick Ankiel.
Fun.
Just digging up some stuff on YouTube. Here's a
dig up a homer. That's what we need.
1-1, and that's taken low.
We need some offense. We need to dig up a homer.
It's coming. I feel it.
This pace is killing me. What pace?
The 2-1 pitch. Pulled foul. All right, Mr. Ankiel. Get a little digging on you. That sweet swing, Jimmy.
Low. Low.
Him just toss the bat, no big deal. He
To
knew
the
it.
trees.
2 home run game against the Dodgers, and then later in the season, let's get a curtain call. Thank you very much. 2 home run game against these Pirates. And here is a 2-2 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Chased a pitch up and strikes out. 2 in the inning, 4 in the game. Second time O'Neill is struck out, and it brings in Yachty.
This is just a backup slider right here, Ricky. He does best and worst pitch in the game. You think it's going to break, and it just goes right on by you.
Yep, Crow got away with one there.
So 2 outs and 2 on. Yachty with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, a .341 hitter this year. A couple of doubles, a home run. 20 of his 45 RBI have come with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
I think they need to go to the card.
There's a look at the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's Derek Shelton with some Midwest ties. Born in Carbondale, Illinois. Caught for 4 years, late 80s, early 90s at Southern Illinois University. He was a Saluki, which is an Egyptian dog.
Really? I didn't know that's what it was.
Yes, sir.
I've seen it.
Inning started with a strikeout of Dylan Carlson. Goldschmidt base hit to left. Cardinals only hit tonight. Arenado walked, the second walk issued by Crow. O'Neill struck out, and now Yadier Molina.
Why even give a sign if you just went and talked about what you're going to throw?
Exactly.
What if he shakes it off and then steps off then?
Molina, base hit into left. Here comes Goldie. The throw to the plate is cut off. Goldschmidt will score. Arenado in a rundown, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. With 2 outs, Yadier Molina, the base hit to left, drives in his 46th. Goldschmidt scores, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Sunday, August 22nd, 12,000 kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket go home with their very own stadium exclusive Build-A-Bear Workshop bear. And that bear will sport a Cardinals Hall of Fame jacket just like the Cardinal greats. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Molina the base hit to left. And it's 1-0 Cardinals as that brought in Paul Goldschmidt. So 1-0 St. Louis. It's Molina's 7th season with 25 or more 2-out RBI, and his first since 2018. So we head to the top of the lineup along with Jim Edmonds, Rick Ankiel. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And we're in our studios of Bally Sports here in St. Louis. Wherever you may be, we hope you're enjoying Cardinals baseball. It's Park, Hayes, and Reynolds. Slow breaking ball at 69 miles an hour in for strike. Park struck out looking first time up. Only 32 pitches to get through 3 innings for Adam Wainwright. 1 hit. And that was erased on a double play back in the second. A lot of sinkers, and Anke's kind of relying on that, getting the ground balls, and that's typical Adam Wainwright, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's fun to watch him pitch and what he's thinking. Here you see Hoy Park. He started him out with a curveball in the first at bat, and then it was a ball. And this at bat came back with the curveball first pitch, just a little bit slower one first strike.
Swing and a miss, and a tardy swing there by Park, and strikeout number 4 for Adam Wainwright.
The panic swing.
Yeah, the backdoor cutter right here. It's almost that's almost in between a slider and a cutter, and just kind of tries to throw it around the plate right there. And yeah, that is the that's the panic swing right there. That's the I was looking in, and oh no,
it's gonna be a strike swing. Hurry.
Off the end of the bat, little squibber hit to second. Tommy Edman. Hayes is 0 for 2. How about just, he keeps guys off balance, Jimmy. He does that so well.
Yeah, I think that's a good teaching tool right there. Taking a big swing against a guy like this is when you have to really slow down, get a pitch to hit, know that he's not going to throw you a bunch of fastballs down the middle to hit. So this is not the guy to go looking for a home run. And exactly what he just did. Took a big old swing and got a slow breaking ball off the end of the bat.
And that's what Adam is so good at, the plus and the minus on the curveball, because it looked like he was sitting curveball, got it, and just tried to go way back to the trees. But Adam can change the shape, change the speed, and it wasn't what he thought it was going to be.
Pitch outside to Brian Reynolds. Well, the Pirates have been inclined to trade players who are under control for 3 or fewer additional seasons, and Reynolds a few weeks ago in the trade deadline was asked about it. Would have been a commodity for a lot of teams. He's having a good year, but didn't go. And the Pirates are saying things like, we want to build around him. But they've heard that before. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Garrett Cole, Glasnow, Josh Bell. But he has said, I want to stay in Pittsburgh and see this thing through.
You don't hear that every day.
The 1-1. Pulled foul. He himself was traded from San Francisco to the Pirates for Andrew McCutchen. A ball and 2 strikes. Inside corner, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 5, 2 in the inning for Wainwright. Sends us to the 5th. And it's 1-0 St. Louis. Another K for old Uncle Charlie. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. A little lightning in the area, obviously, and wow, rain as well in Pittsburgh at PNC.
Look at that.
Yikes.
That is cool. Good job.
Will Crow pitching into the 5th. He was originally drafted out of high school by Cleveland, did not sign, went to South Carolina, then tore his UCL in April of 2015, had Tommy John. Returned in June of 16 in time for the draft. Cleveland went after him again. 21st round. Didn't sign. Went back to South Carolina. Very good 2017 season in the SEC. And then became a 2nd round pick by the Nationals. And made his debut last year with Washington. It was just a week after Dylan Carlson made his major league debut, and he was spending time the taxi squad, the satellite camp as well. He actually said it was a great way to be introduced to Major League Baseball. You're on the taxi squad, but yet you're not a part of the active roster, and then if someone would get COVID or have an issue, then you're activated, but you're traveling with the team. And he said you got to work out, go to the hotels, you know, like see the travel.
Kind of like a big league spring training. I
Right.
think that sometimes that allows players to get comfortable quick.
Diving catch in left by Alford to rob Harrison Bader. What a play.
What a play is right. This is a really nice play because this ball is a line drive. It doesn't have any air underneath it at all. It just basically runs it down.
I'm happy to see an outfielder dive head first. It seems more than not these days. Some of the younger guys don't like doing it.
Ricky texted me the other day. He said, how come nobody can dive head first anymore?
So what were you picking up, Hank? No one dives head first ever?
Not a lot of guys go feet first, and what he's saying is you basically not getting extension when you're sliding feet first all the time.
There's some balls I've seen that have bounced in front of guys where I feel like if they would have leaned forward and dove head first, that they would have had a chance to catch it.
Here's Paul DeYoung. Lined out to third, first time up, 1 ball, 1 strike. And a base hit out to left. The
Nice
Thunder
job.
rolling in.
That's a nice job right there hitting. That's another good swing. A little bit of an adjustment by Paulie DeYoung, starting to try to hit against his front side, and that is the struggle he gets. When you try to stay inside the ball, sometimes you try to manipulate your hands to stay inside the ball, and you can't. You have to stay back. Wow, we look at that lightning. And you gotta drive the ball by when your front foot lands, your body has to stop and then start to rotate. He gets flat-footed on that front foot sometimes, and it buckles and kind of rolls him forward, which does actually slow the bat down a little bit.
Well, DeYoung now is hit safely in 5 straight against the Pirates. Runner at first, 1 out. Tommy Edman fouls one back. First time up, lined out to center. I'm going to assume, hearing the crowd, that there was some lightning and Tommy called time. Again, we're coming to you from our studios here in St. Louis, not at the ballpark, so
Tough
gotta
to
wonder
hit.
if that, yeah, there you go. That's
Tough
why
to hit when
everybody
that's
stopped.
going on, huh?
Smart move by Tommy Edman.
The thunder, you can hear that. That's taken high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. DeYoung, the runner at first base, and the 1-1. He was running with the pitch and back to first. Tapped foul, 1-2.
Once you get to 2 strikes with Tommy Edman, I feel like you have to attack the top of the zone. You see him swing at pitches up there, and he'll expand a little bit.
Well, that's why I think that he does a good job with the at bats, because he's one of those guys that people try to trick, and he'll stay on the breaking ball. And that's what Danny and I talk about a lot. And you know, as a pitcher, Rick, there's the little guys are the guys you have to go after. It's the big guys you can drop the breaking ball down with 2 strikes. These guys you have to do exactly that right there. That's a great call by you. You just go after them because they're slowing down, trying to put the ball in play. It's the big guys. They're not going to cut their swings down. And those are the guys you have to trick.
Hank, what made you say that? Do you see him chase a lot of times up with 2 strikes?
Well, I feel like he's a little susceptible to the top of the zone, and sometimes it strikes, but you can tell that he doesn't want to swing at it. But yeah, I mean, he'll chase it up there. It doesn't seem, from the left side, it doesn't seem like he gets a good look at it all the time.
A check on DeYoung, back in safely. The 2-2. Fly ball to center fielder. Brian Reynolds makes the catch. And with 2 outs, runner at first. It'll be Adam Wainwright who grounded out to third. You guys looking forward to the Field of Dreams game tomorrow?
I forgot it was tomorrow already.
That's tomorrow.
I am. I think it's going to be really cool.
I've not been there. I don't know about you guys.
I was just there pre-COVID, maybe, for a fundraiser.
Pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then, you know, what you see on TV is all legit with the house and everything. Well, the stadium that they built for MLB, which has been in waiting for like a year and a half now, is just down the farm a little bit. Not the same exact spot, but if you're going to watch that, you're going to get to see both. And it's going to be pretty cool to watch. It's a neat area. It really is.
I haven't been there. I got to cross that off my list. I need to go to Cooperstown. That's another place I need to go.
Wow. You better bring a backpack and some lunch and plan on being there for a couple days.
Yeah.
Especially with the knowledge that you have.
I love it.
Good take by Adam.
What are you giggling about, Hank?
That.
The take, yeah, it almost seemed like it was the confident take. You know, I didn't go. Check this out. I held up.
Hey, he's a .350 hitter at this ballpark. All right, he knows what he's doing.
Hey, I know he can. I'm waiting for him to turn it on. I text him all the time and bust his chops about it.
Here's a 1-1. That's in there for a strike.
It's like those guys that check swing and they point. The hitter points at the first base umpire. I was like, go ahead and check me.
1-2 the count on Adam Wainwright. DeYoung, the runner at first base. Ooh, hung that pitch.
Yeah, he's getting some pitches to hit. He's just not the same hitter he has been in the past. He's just not getting the balls. He's not getting extension. He's not getting to some of these balls. I'm telling you, the concentration on the pitching has changed his hitting styles.
I think you need to meet him at the batting cage, Jim. Work with him a little bit.
No, I'm good. I don't want to change anything about what he's doing right now. Pitching first.
Held up. Did not go. Well, Crow in the first 3 innings, he had 35 pitches to get through it. Then in the 4th, it was 23 pitches. A couple of hits in that inning. And now the pitch count starting to rise just a bit. Waino, come on, why are we even checking this? Held up, no big deal.
Strong wrists.
Pitch number 76, fouled back.
I'm throwing a fastball up in the zone right here.
I mean, isn't that basically the answer to almost everything, though? Just go get it. Like, challenge guys.
Yeah, and for a strike in the top of the zone. That's where I'm going. Oof. He almost caught a sinker down. That's going to be where Adam can get to it.
The 2-2. And Wainwright hits a fly ball out to deep left. And it's over Alford.
That is the worst luck.
Ever.
Hate that
double.
rule.
Ever. Painful.
I hate that rule.
His second hit this year, a ground rule double.
Second hit this year. We're going to have to give him some grief. He's not holding up his end of the bargain on the pitching side, on the pitching staff as their hits.
Well, if this ball stays in play, he brings the hands in and drives it over Alford's outstretched glove. That hits the wall. It's 2-0 Cardinals. Instead, second and third, 2 down, and Dylan Carlson, who has struck out twice tonight. 0 for 2. It's the 8th career double against Pittsburgh for Waino. Most against any opponent. Runners at second and third. And a ball to Dylan Carlson. Top of the lineup for the Cardinals here in the top of the 5th. It's the first extra base hit for Adam Wainwright since September of 2019. Had the DH in play last year and his first of this season. Dylan hitting .271 with runners in scoring position. Carlson hits it a ton down the right field line. And that ball is a home run. No.
Wow.
I'm going to say no, it is not.
God, it's so tough to tell on the TV.
Oh.
Boy, it looked fair when that
Not
ball
really.
is foul.
That's why the foul pole is not skinny.
One ball, one strike with 2 outs.
That probably hurts just as much as that ground rule double right there. When you're 2 inches from hitting the foul pole.
There you go.
Oof.
Homered off the foul pole to begin the year in Cincinnati, and maybe a foot, 2 inches away from a 3-run shot here. The 1-1 off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. And with that, they get activity in their bullpen. Right-hander begins to throw for the Pirates. That's Nick Mears, and we saw him last night. Second and third, 2 outs here in the top of 5. Big gap in right center. They shade him a bit the other way. And a shift on the infield on the right side. Taken low. Good take. 3-1.
He's doing a nice job staying calm. Get another pitch to hit. Don't try to do too much.
The 3-1 pitch. Pulled the string on him. 3-2. Changeup.
Yeah, you almost have to now. You got to be careful. Take a couple of swings, a good long at bat. You start to time a pitcher up. The pitcher has to make the adjustments now, and you just can't keep pumping fastballs. It doesn't matter where you throw them.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. All right, Hank, 3-1. He went changeup. There was fastball up and in. What's he got on 3-2? Again.
Well, he's got a base open, but he has been deathly afraid of Goldie. Went 4 straight, so I'm pitching somewhere around the zone, but it looks like Mears is going to come in and face Goldie no matter what.
So that gives you all the indication right here. Probably another changeup. If you know this is your last pitch.
3-2, and he walked him. Bases loaded. His 3rd walk tonight. We'll see if the Pirates want to make a move here with Goldschmidt coming up. And they're all loaded up. He is walked in. He is singled to left. We're going to have a pitching change here. Nick Mears, the right-handed pitcher, coming in. That'll be it for Crow. Bases loaded. Goldie coming up when we come back. So Crow will exit with 2 outs in the top of 5 with the bases loaded, and turns it over to Mears. We saw him last night. He'll face Paul Goldschmidt. Chevy called to the pen. Goldie had that grand slam 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. It was July 22nd of 2019, and that was in the 10th inning. And the Cardinals won that ball game 6-5. These two have never hooked up. So what a chance here for St. Louis. They've out hit the Pirates 4-1. The Pirates have 2 hits total in this series.
Well, that's part of what we talked about. You know, you get against some of these teams and late in the year, and you can put some runs on the board early. You can get them not to fold, but you can definitely have the edge. And you can clearly see right here, like you said, 2 hits in what, 14 innings right now, or 13 innings, is not ideal for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
First pitch in the dirt. Goldschmidt this season, bases loaded 4 for 9, has driven in 7. On base twice tonight, a walk and a single. Got the first Cardinal hit with 1 out back in the 4th and a base hit to left.
They don't seem like they want Goldie to beat them tonight. This first at bat, they start him off with the slider. Start him off with the slider there.
97 up, 2 balls and no strikes.
I find it interesting that you got Nick Mears in the game after throwing 25 pitches last night, and you got a whole bullpen full of guys. And like I said, you're 30 games under 500.
The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Mears has inherited 5 runners this season, and all 5 have come around to score. DeYoung the base hit. Wainwright ground rule double. Walk to Carlson. They're all on base, and a 2-1 pitch. Up and in. 3-1. Nolan Arenado on deck.
Did you just say that all 5 of the runners he's inherited this year have scored?
That's correct.
And you just brought him into the game with the bases loaded?
Well, you are 31 below 500. Maybe you're trying to find out something about him, too.
That's why you gave me the 1 finger, huh? The 31 games underneath 500, not just 30.
What do you think the starting pitcher's thinking?
Yeah. Well, they know. Trust me. You know that as a pitcher.
3-1. Hit to second. And Mears will get Goldschmidt. Cardinals strand the bases loaded. They had stranded 4 tonight. And it stays a 1-0 St. Louis lead. healthcare difference maker Adam Wainwright tonight. And so far so good for Waino. He is through 4. He has struck out 5. And the only hit he has allowed was a base hit that he would probably tell you and probably makes that play, but 99 out of 100 times he makes it off his glove. Turned out to be a base hit. So that is your BJC healthcare difference maker. And we check in with Jimmy Hayes.
Danny, the Cardinals starting rotation chock full of veterans. Waino is nearly 40. Happ is 38. Tomorrow's starter Wade LeBlanc is 37. It's hardly a youth movement, but Mike Schultz says that's not a bad thing. Schultz told me, I can understand why it gets a lot of attention, but experience can win. These guys have kept themselves in great shape. They're certainly battle tested, and they can still pitch. Schultz says wisdom is a wonderful thing, and these guys know a lot about how to pitch. And Danny, for Waino, 39 is the new 26.
So he's going to be 40 here in about 3 weeks. The Cardinals pitchers so far in this series: Happ yesterday, then it was Helsley, Cabrera, Reyes. Wainwright tonight. They have faced 42 batters over 13 innings. 2 hits, solo home run by Park, infield single off of Waino's glove, 13 strikeouts, 5 by Adam, and just a handful of balls that have been hit hard by the Pirates, who come into this game, Jimmy, having dropped 6 in a row. So again, Enk's key to the game: keep them down, and that's what the Cardinals have an opportunity to do with Wainwright on the mound.
Yeah, they really haven't been doing much, Pittsburgh Pirates, and like you said, it's just an opportunity for the Cardinals to put up some wins and keep them down. I mean, this is part of the time of the season where you just have to step on everyone's neck that does not feel like they want to play anymore.
Colin Moran, Rodolfo Castro, and Gregory Polanco. Moran a base hit to left, and he's 2 for 2.
I feel like I've seen that a few times in the last couple of years.
He has hit well against the Cardinals this season. So Moran aboard. That is your tying run. Go ahead run will come to the plate. Rodolfo Castro. And there's strike 1.
Castro, 22 years old, Danny, of the Dominican Republic. 22 years old in the big leagues.
Talked about it last night, made headlines. Hit his 5th home run in a 6-game span. It was in late July, but first 5 home runs he hit were the first 5 hits in the big leagues. And past Trevor Story, when he debuted in 2016, was then a major league record, with first 4 hits being home runs. He's hitting 136 against right-handed pitching, 6 for 44. And the 1-1 pitch outside, 2-1.
Yeah, you tend to get a lot of attention when your first 5 hits or so are homers. Then you don't want that attention when you're 22 years old. You kind of just want to be left alone and hit your hits. And, you know, even though the first 30 games he had those 5 homers and in the first 5 or 6 games, whatever you just said, but all of a sudden now he's got the attention of a lot of guys, hitting just 167 in his last 7 games and only under 200 last 2 weeks. So, you know, when you do it big, when you go big early, you got to keep going. It's tough to do at this level.
7 for his last 38, only 1 extra base hit. Breaking ball, a beauty. 2-2. That's what you get to when you're 22 and you're facing a 39-year-old that knows what he's doing. A 2-1 breaking ball that catches the corner.
Yeah, clearly you're going to get pitched differently. You're not just going to get fastballs out over the plate to see if you can hit. You're going to start getting the whole book thrown at you.
Cardinals have turned a double play. That was back in the 2nd. Tails back in, and Yachty looking back and doesn't get the call.
That's where the game has changed right there, Rick. 39 versus 22.
And he didn't ring him up.
Yeah.
And it's a strike anyway, whether he's 22 or 42.
Yeah, that's true.
The 3-2 pitch. Got him. Went with the breaking ball again. Strikeout number 6 for Waino. But that on a 3-2, Hank.
How about that, too? And he started it in the strike zone and still stayed in the strike zone. That's a tough pitch.
Well, you can see right there, he wasn't thinking anything other than fastball right there. His body was gone. If you saw that replay close enough, you even saw the head buckle a little bit, like the body goes up and then back down. No chance to hit a breaking ball right there.
Here's Polanco, grounded out to short, first time up. And a ground ball, could be 2, but it's the shift. Edman, no chance.
That is a first for me right there.
Me too.
The little shuffle. That's like the, little Tom Brady shuffle pass right there. Let's see you fix that one, Stubby. What if he flips it to what if he flips it to Arenado as he realizes he got a better angle, and then you go, what is that, a 6-5 or wait, no, 6-4-5-3 double play? That'd be some kind of shift record right there.
Then Yachty was going to third base on that play.
Was at third base.
Alford fly to right, first time up. 2 outs, and the breaking ball is lifted in the air out to center. Bader backing up, shy of the track, makes the catch. Pirates strand their first runner of the night. They have 2 hits against Waino through 5. Cardinals on top. We'll join the Cardinals and Edward Jones, honor the Cardinals Hall of Fame class of 2020 and 2021. Tommy Hurd, John Tudor, Bill White. It's presented by Edward Jones. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony Saturday, August 21st. And that will be outside Ballpark Village. It will air on Tuesday, the 24th, on Valley Sports. Ceremony is outside, and that is free to the public. So come on down. It's always, Jimmy, you've been a part of it. You've been inducted. It's always I think, a great celebration of what we all love, Cardinals baseball.
You got that right. We got a great man emceeing the whole deal, too. It's pretty fun to listen to. That would be you.
And the speeches.
And the speeches.
Kevin Newman takes over at short. New pitcher is in. That's Cody Ponce. The Chevy call to the pen. And Park, the shortstop, goes to left. And now Ponce on the mound. Ten hits allowed in his last 3 games. So Ponce gets Nolan Arenado, Tyler O'Neill, Yadier Molina. First pitch is taken for a ball. So Mears was able to get out of the bases loaded situation last inning, keep this a 1-run game. Arenado, base hit into left. On base for the second time to go along with a walk.
For me, that's one of the downsides of starting guys off with first pitch breaking balls. He comes into the game, throws a first pitch breaking ball, it's a ball. Yeah. As a hitter, now you're definitely looking dead red.
You better be.
You may remember Ponce made his debut August 2nd last year in relief, and his first start was August 27th in St. Louis. He was good. 5 2/3, 5 hits, no runs, and picked up his first win. 4 starts since then, 2 last year, 2 this year, 0-2 ERA of 8. There's Tyler O'Neill, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. They shift there on the left side. O'Neill, big numbers at this ballpark this season, taps it foul. Kept in front by Perez. Nice play. Two and one the count on Nolan Arenado. Or rather on Tyler O'Neill, with Nolan Arenado at first base after his single. The next to O'Neill. High fly ball. Right center. And the catch made by Brian Reynolds.
Just a hair too deep. Don't get to say that very often with some of these guys, and he just didn't get the bat to the ball right there. That is a bomb.
Yadier Molina grounded out to third. Then had the 2-out RBI single to left. And that brought in Goldschmidt. And the base hit, Goldie would score, and then Arenado would get in a rundown. And sometimes, as you guys know, that's by design. Get in the rundown and let the and allow the run to score.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Nolan right there, especially with Goldie running. Not the fastest guy on the team, but also no offense going on at the time. You have to take that run for that out, and that's a pretty smart play right there by Arenado.
Yeah, great job not running into the tag. Like you said, with Goldie running, if he runs into the tag, the run may not score.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. And Molina with a fly ball into deep center. That is over Reynolds' head. Arenado to third. It'll be a double for Yadi. And finally, he has that double. Historic double, as Molina had been waiting a long time for an extra base hit, and he gets it here. And that's 396 for his career. That ties Gabby Hartnett, 5th all-time among primary catchers in history, with now 396 doubles in the ballpark back in 2004, in which he made his major league debut.
That's, I mean, the records just keep on coming. I was watching Reynolds right there. He almost got hit in the back of the head by that semi line drive / fly ball.
He just misplayed that. Both twice.
Twice.
I think that's why Arenado is only at third. He had to make sure that wasn't caught. And the infield is brought in for Harrison Bader. Fly to right, lined out to left. And the first pitch taken for a ball high.
We were talking about him being a little closer to the plate tonight, and been struggling a little bit lately, but I also think that he's opened up a little bit. And the thing that I love about him trying to make adjustments but not being open is the thing that he struggles with a little bit is not getting to the closed position while he's hitting. And so now he's putting himself in a position where he's already faced an open stance. And if you stride straight, you're kind of pulling off the ball on, not on purpose, but automatically. And that's just something that's tough to do. It's like when you start open, you almost have to completely turn your body towards the plate to close down. It's a timing issue too.
2 balls, no strikes. Rain begins to fall again. So the Cardinals with 2 extra base hits in the ball game, and they come from Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina. And they're making their 296th career start as battery mates tonight, 4th all-time in the history of the game.
Incredible.
Swinging on 3-0.
Well, you see right there, and there's sometimes, and I'm sure Rick can attest to this too, when you're hitting There's sometimes you just can't stay on the ball. You're like telling yourself, stop pulling off, next pitch. You're just bailing out for some unknown reason. And that's kind of what I feel like he's got stuck into. It's not really a bailout, I guess, Ricky, what I'm saying, but that front foot just wants to leak and open up those hips.
Yep.
3-1, 3-2.
For me, it usually, you know, if I got beat a couple times, then all of a sudden I started worrying about it too much.
Yeah.
Which I should have never worried about it, because it wasn't, you know, a pitch on the black inside wasn't a good pitch for me to hit anyway.
Sometimes you'll chase balls that you can't hit, and they'll frustrate you into swinging at them all night long.
Pond steps off. Inning started. Base hit by Arenado. O'Neill fly to center. The double for Yadier Molina, which ended a streak of 97 plate appearances without an extra base hit for Yadi. 3-2. It was a pitch like that, fellas. Last night he fought off into shallow center and picked up a single and an RBI.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I say, like, taking that swing that you get jammed on sometimes is the right approach, because you see the ball, you stay closed, you get beat, but your swing stays through the zone, and jam shots are going to happen. The opposite is awful, because you can't stay in the zone long enough to put the ball in play.
Rain falling and a 3-2. That'll fall into the seats.
The one thing I like about him being closer to the plate, I feel like for pitchers, it's harder for them to throw that inside strike. They don't want to throw it too far in to hit you, and they get in trouble and end up leaving it too far over the plate.
I think he's trying to simplify also, right, where he doesn't have to look in, out, or away or middle. He can just look ball, because now he's only standing there with the, you know, the plate is X amount of inches wide, and he doesn't have to cover anything, but basically he's right on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of would be my thought process if I was just going to watch this for the first time.
I would face lefties that way and try to take away the inside part and the outside slider.
See what he comes with here on 3-2. The next debater popped up again. Perez will give it a look near the screen and out of play.
And I think too is when you, and this is what we were talking about earlier with DeYoung, and wish we had a better opportunity without the world feed of us being here at home in St. Louis, is if you could see when his front foot lands, I guarantee you he's not sticking the landing, and so that body starts to travel, and that's why his bat will drop a little bit and he'll be late to the fastball, because everything, it's just like a big old teeter-totter. Once the foot and the legs go, the hips and the bat drop.
It's a down the right field line, and that ball is foul, barely foul. Whoa. And the Cardinals, now you can review this, because this is one of those reviewable plays. Once it is past the umpire, that's reviewable. Now they can take that shot we just showed you in New York and blow it up and enhance it to see if indeed it is a fair ball.
That looked like a foul ball, but that replay is priceless. There's like 7 guys staring at that ball, hoping for one or the other. It was interesting, because I don't think Harry ran right away. I thought he might have hooked that, and it just stayed true.
Pitch number 10 of the at bat to Harrison Bader. Got him. Strikeout of Bader. And a big one there. The Cardinals need a 2-out hit from DeYoung, who's had 2 very fine at bats tonight. Lined out to third, and also hard hit ball to left for a base hit.
And that's what that at bat, Rick, you're talking about right there. See, look at the body though, but you start worrying about you're not getting to that fastball, and then the first thing you're thinking about is that fastball, which normally he can't throw that ball in the black more than once in a bat, if that.
Agreed.
2 outs, 2 on. First pitch to Paul DeYoung. Strike one.
See, I like where Paulie's at now. He's a little conversation with him yesterday, and he's talking about that front foot. It looks like it's sticking a little bit better today, and he's a little quicker, a little crisper with everything. That foot hits the ground, he's ready to go instead of lingering.
Nothing in 2.
This guy's got a pretty good fastball too, though.
See if they elevate with that fastball. A lot of teams have been doing that with Paul. At times he makes the adjustment, but recently a lot of pitches up hard.
And that's what we're talking about. When that front foot lands flat and you start to drift over it a little bit, you can't catch up. When you stick that, you can throw that bat out there a little bit quicker.
Line drive, base hit into right center on an 0-2 pitch. DeYoung, his second hit of the night, brings in 2, and it's 3-0 Cardinals.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. And conversations that I have with Paul DeYoung are so awesome. And had a conversation with him the other day, and we were talking about this, and he keeps asking and talking about this front foot. And then I went back the next day and I said, hey, by the way, just because you're landing your front foot and sticking it, you're not trying to pull. And that's what I'm talking about right there. Just get that body, stop that body from drifting with that front foot, hit against it, but you can still stay inside it and drive the ball the other way. That's a nice piece of hitting.
It was a good piece of hitting. The pitcher, when he threw that first slider that was up in the zone and then went back to the high elevated fastball, he had him set up for fastballs up in the zone, Danny. I thought that was a really good call by you, looking for that next fastball.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot with him. So an 0-2 mistake on a pitch. Looked to be, what do you think, fellas? Down and away a little bit, and he drives it into right center. They're going to walk Tommy Edman, and Wainwright will hit, and he has doubled tonight. Ground rule double to left and also grounded out to third. Runners at first and second.
He's going right here. Jump ship. More.
He's thinking it.
Oh, that time he went.
Power take.
He's cheating a little bit today, isn't he?
Up the middle, base hit. The throw to the plate. DeYoung is safe at the plate. Adam Wainwright, his second hit tonight. This one brings in DeYoung, and it's 4-0 Cardinals. You would actually intentionally walk Tommy Edman to get to Waino?
I mean, that's what the
What are you looking at me like that
That's
for?
what the book says. That's when you're sitting down. That's what you're sitting down at the blackjack table and you look at the dealer and say, what does the book say to do here? Oh, it says to walk this guy, even though it's not a great idea. But you do it anyway.
Absolutely you do.
He's back, baby.
Attaboy, Hank. Now you guys don't have to call him and give him any more trouble.
Tell you what, a decent throw right here. DeYoung's in trouble. He just doesn't. Three hopper to the plate from shallow center field.
By the way, Carlson in that replay before looked to have his hands up.
That's a fine.
You got to get down and tell him which angle to go to.
He might be
watching.
out. He might be out. I don't think his front foot touched the plate.
It's going to be close.
I'm in shock at the throw still, though. I mean, he was standing 20 feet behind second base.
So they're challenging here. Last multi-hit game for Adam Wainwright was at that ballpark in Pittsburgh. His last RBI, July 24th of 2019, also in Pittsburgh. And apparently, I guess the right knee got in for Paul DeYoung.
I might have fallen out of my chair if they called him out right there for his foot going over the plate. Especially in some ballparks, the plate is lower than the dirt.
His 72nd RBI of his career and first of 2021. And runners at first and third, top of the lineup, and Dylan Carlson.
We got to save that replay for Dylan Carlson so we can get him in kangaroo court. That's terrible.
Got to tell him to get down,
What is
give him
he
a
doing?
direction. You are the,
Well, the best
base
part
coach.
is he's got his hands up, but he's looking at the center fielder. You're supposed to look at your runner to see where he's at.
Well, you're looking at that, the direction of the throw, everything.
My gosh.
Pitch inside to Carlson tonight. A couple of strikeouts and a walk.
I'm going to have to get that video and send it to Stubby and Ollie. Check this out.
Dillon, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 189 the average. Trying to add to the 4-0 lead. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rick, I'm curious how impressed you've been with Dylan Carlson and the adjustments that he's made from this time last year to what you're seeing now.
It's incredible for how young he is, the in-game adjustments that he's making now, knowing when to get big, when not to. You seen him just get big there. Good spot to do it. You're up by 4. It's very impressive.
2 strikes. We were talking about elevating the pitch on DeYoung. At times, I think you'd agree, Hank, they've done that with Dylan Carlson.
Yep.
Well, and that's what the thing too, Rick, and from being at the beginning of the year to this part is what we were saying yesterday, you and I. That's where he's made the adjustments. I mean, it's not always going to be perfect, but he stopped swinging at those balls and he started putting some of these balls in play, and it's changed his whole game.
Castro with the play, ranging to his left. Waino a 2-hit night, and the Cardinals have a 4-run lead. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. We're in our studios of Bally Sports here in St. Louis with Rick Ankiel and the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and I'll start with you, Jimmy. The Cardinals' 7th consecutive game now, scoring 4 or more runs. So you're starting to see a little bit of the jump that the Cardinals have been looking for with their offense.
Yeah, a little bit of offense and a little bit of jump, like you said, at the end of this year. Maybe taking advantage of the schedule right now. But tonight, for me, all about Adam Wainwright on the mound and at the plate.
Hank, what are you seeing out of old Uncle Charlie?
Well, he looks really good tonight, the way he's setting up hitters, using the fastball, the curveball. Everything seems to be in sync. He's getting a good strike zone. But more than that, all is right in the world because he's got a single and a double.
That's all that matters among you pitchers.
Single-handedly winning this game right now, isn't he?
That's right.
That's like the Rick Ankiel days. I'm sure there's been a day where you've thrown a shutout and hit a homer to win the game. Did it all.
No hitter, actually, and then hit it once.
Seriously. Love it. Take that with you.
High school, though.
That's all right.
Way back when.
I am curious. I mean, you guys know him as well as anybody, being teammates with number 50. And he said earlier this year in an interview with Ken Rosenthal, he said either this is it, final 6-7 weeks, or next year for sure, but that'll be it. He's got a family now to where his oldest is going to high school. Hank, what do you think, though, when you're pitching like this? Is it, I would assume maybe it makes it easier to come back. Cardinals, I would think, would want him back. What do you think he wants to do?
I think, yeah, I mean, anytime you're successful, right, and you feel like you can still do it, which we all know he does. I mean, I think he could, you know, obviously physically he can do it if he stays healthy the rest of the way. So for me, it definitely makes it easier to come back. And as you mentioned, it's just going to be a family decision. And I think it might boil down to what moves do the Cardinals make in the offseason, and does he think they have a chance to make the postseason next year?
I think this is a great opportunity for him to go home and say, if you want me, call me. If you don't, I'll be right here. Don't worry about a thing. Go home, work out, do your normal routine, which I'm sure he will. Spend some time with your family, but I wouldn't stress. Clearly, if he doesn't want to go somewhere, he's not going to go. So this is a great opportunity for him to be in the driver's seat.
Outside to Perez, and you'd have to think that Mo and Gersh and Mr. DeWitt would say if all goes to plan and he's healthy after the season is through and continues to pitch at this level, they would make it work to bring him back for that final year and make sure it happens in St. Louis.
Well, I don't, you know, to be honest with you, without playing front office, and if I was front office for a day, like Hank said yesterday, how do you not? You don't have anybody else out there that you can really rely on right now with the health matters that some of these kids have. And that's just part of the game.
Michael Perez with a fly ball into right. Carlson the catch and the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
And that and the fact that the depth has really been challenged. And when you start to look at those things and how many innings he's been able to take and be successful with it too, I feel like you have to go out and try to talk him into coming back.
There's Kevin Newman, was part of the double switch a couple of innings ago, and he is 2 for 11 against Adam Wainwright in his career. When the Cardinals score 4 or more runs, they are 41-14. Popped up on the infield. Shortstop Paul DeYoung under it. 2 outs. So Waino cruising in this ball game so far. The Cardinals Papa John's teaming up to bring fans a special offer on tickets. Limited time $6 tickets to see the Cardinals host the Brewers 17th through the 19th. The Tigers 24th, 25th. And that's $6 tickets for you at cardinals.com/Papa John's.
I mean, let's say that he pitches 7 more games, Danny, and he goes 7 innings in the majority of them. He's going to have 190 innings this year.
That's what is amazing to me. Is
and that's just 7 and
successful, but the 190 innings.
That's 7 and 7. So
right.
and that's actually 7 and 7 would be about 194 innings with what he's got going on right now. But if you get anywhere near 190, wow.
At this day and age, absolutely.
And who's to say he's not going to throw 8 or 9 tonight? Or no, you know, or 8 or 9 the next time. He's just building up stamina every time he goes out there.
He's allowed 2 base hits tonight. One went off his glove. The other one a clean single, both by Moran. So after the base hit by Moran, he's retired now 5 in a row. Curveball of beauty and doesn't get the call.
That's what I'm talking about right there, Hank. That is serious growing up to do when you're a kid and you have to deal with that at the big league level. Learning how to handle that has got to be really tough.
No question. You see him change the shape of it right there and try to drop it in the top of the zone.
O'Neill can't come up with it. 2-2 on Park. Well, if he gets through this inning, think about this guy's 16th time in his 23 starts this year. He's gone through at least 6 innings. We talk a lot about 7, but that'll be 16 of his 23 that he's gone at least 6. He'll have gone 6 or more in 12 of his last 13.
It's incredible.
So he's given you not only a chance to win, but length in these games too. The 2-2 pitch. And a liner into the glove of Tommy Edman. And another 1-2-3. Goldschmidt, Arenado, O'Neill coming up. He has been something else in 2021. Get your rest. It's the Budweiser What's on Tap, and we'll come your way with the pregame show at 11 on Bally Sports Midwest. Wade LeBlanc and JT Brubaker. And Wade LeBlanc has been everything you could hope for in terms of throwing strikes and giving you a chance to win.
Just added another guy to fill in innings. And you know what's interesting is I think that in the course of doing games, I listen to what you say, and you've actually built Wade LeBlanc right up to be exactly what he is. And you've been saying it since day one. And you've been calling the game saying, oh, you know, this guy's been doing this so he can get himself into a starting position. And the next thing you know, there he goes and hasn't slowed down at all.
You didn't trust me.
I trusted you. I'm just saying, like,
Hank, what's going on here?
People that are listening to these games, you know, they listen to, like, think Rick and I are going to give them some magic secret when you're the one that's giving all the magic secrets out. You're like, you're reading the game as it goes.
Well, not magic.
Well,
but at the time, you could see they needed a strike thrower. desperately as Goldie taps it foul.
Now they got 4, and they're all over 37 years old.
I mean, that's what they needed, and he's been
Hank, you got
exactly what they
left
needed.
in you?
Hold on, let me stretch and see what it feels like.
I guarantee he's got the breaking ball.
Oh yeah. I don't know how's that elbow though.
Right out of bed.
Might be a. Sometimes certain body parts just say, you know what, I'm good.
The 2-2 to Goldschmidt. Walked a couple of times and scored a run. Grounded out with the bases loaded to second. Honda home run inning. Cardinals. They hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Inside, and it's 3-2.
I always think it's funny when people come up to you and say, man, you're in great shape. I bet you could still play. And I'm sure you get this a lot too, Hank. And I'm like, I have no idea. I am so far away from even getting close to even trying to play or being able to.
That's a third walk for Goldie tonight.
We could play for one night.
Softball. I don't even know if I could play a softball game. I did that. I did a home run derby a couple of months back, and here at one of the fields, and man, it took me 3 weeks to get ready and a week to heal from it. One night of swinging.
I think the Cardinals need to be thinking about bringing back the old timers game.
That would be so much fun.
I miss that. I'd love to see that.
Kind of like fantasy camp.
Yeah, you guys could get out there and handle it, no problem.
Are you playing this year, Jim?
No, I'm not even trying to play anything.
Are you managing?
I am. I'm going to be sitting right here next to Danny until they pull this chair out from underneath me.
But it's fantasy camp is in November, Jimmy, so we won't be doing any games.
I think I'm too young to manage. I think they've told me that a few times. They've asked me to play, and I said, listen, I can't. I'm not trying to run. I've had enough surgeries. The last time I thought I was in really good shape, and I blew my knee out playing with my son, so I'm good. Like I just don't need it. I'd love to help out. I'd sign autographs and yell at some guys in fantasy camp and do whatever you want, but the playing days are over.
Off the end of the bat for Nolan Arenado. The Cardinals tonight, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts at the plate. So good discipline.
A lot better.
Yep.
Which is kind of impressive too, because this Pittsburgh Pirates team has really been throwing the ball inside, and that's usually what gives an offense a lot of trouble, is having to fend off these fastballs in.
Nolan pops it back and foul out of play.
I feel like Pittsburgh, I don't know how, through the years, has always been one of those organizations that pitch in. They did it to Albert a couple of times early on in the season over the years, and he had struggled after that for a week or so, trying to readjust and not trying to look in all the time. And watching this 10, 12 years later, 15 years later, they're still kind of doing the same thing.
1-2 pitch. Arenado slams his bat down, hit it off the end of the bat, and the catch made by Park. Goldschmidt tagging up to second and safe. Great base running, Paul Goldschmidt, taking nothing for granted.
It's just a nice play. The best thing about this is you can get halfway and go back. He's got everything right in front of him. That's what they tell you as a good base runner. The play is in front of you. Be your own coach.
Hank, I know he's not the most flashy guy, Paul Goldschmidt, and he's not going to be outspoken. He's going to do everything right in the media. But, man, he does so many things right in the game of baseball. Like, fundamentally, he is just a very, very elite baseball player.
Very high baseball IQ, and as you mentioned, he does a lot of the little things that go right. And the thing is, you're right, he's not flashy, so he doesn't get enough credit for it, right? It's almost like the media, you know how that is, a Mike Trout type thing, even though it's not Mike Trout. When you're not as flashy as you can, you don't get as much attention, but you're right.
A fly ball into right, and Polanco with the catch.
Well, that's just also, like I said, the play's in front of you, but that's a good read. We saw that replay, and Park basically not forgot, but took it for granted that he wasn't going to tag. So what do? You tag, you make the read. He caught the ball on his back leg, He didn't even square up the throw, and he bounced a two-hopper in there with no effort. That's a perfect example right there of just taking advantage of the situation.
Here's Yadier Molina.
There's your favorite camera, Danny, right there.
Absolutely. Young Cardinal fan enjoying this one tonight. 4-0 in the top of the 7th. Be interested to see if Yadi
clear
is in that lineup tomorrow. Short turnaround. Kisner and LeBlanc seemed to work well last time out. But then when you have a 2-hit night or a 3-hit night for Yadi, he's probably itching to say, look, put me back in there. But it might be something to think about before they head to Kansas City. It was June 3rd, 2004. 6,278 days ago, Yadi made his debut. That ballpark, 2 for 4. Had a double in that ball game. And here we are in 2021. Another double tonight, number 396 of his career. Unreal.
Yeah, I think the only thing that plays with the guessing game about tomorrow is you don't really have a day off for a few more days, so you got to go all 3 in Kansas City back to back to back before you get your next day off on the 16th. So, I mean, that's not a lot, by the way. They've had some days off, so you never know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there tomorrow.
Popped up into shallow center. Catch made by Reynolds, and we stretch. Cardinals have left 7 on, and they lead it 4-0. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Missouri Baptist Medical Center. Doctors call it world-class medicine. You'll call it MOBAP. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Rainy night it looks to be in Pittsburgh as we check in with the Cat.
Danny, Miles Michaelis will make another rehab start on Saturday at Peoria. The Cards had said earlier it would be Tuesday for Springfield. It'll be the 5th rehab outing for Miles. His last one was Sunday in Springfield. Gave up 7 runs over 5 2/3. The Cards say Miles checked out fine health-wise. Miles trying to come back from a forearm issue. Danny, Miles' next rehab start could be his last. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Key Brian Hayes 0 for 2. He's seen, with that pitch included, just 5 pitches tonight. That also included a strikeout. Grounded to Arenado. Get the feeling those two are going to battle it out for the Gold Glove. Years to come, Arenado and Key Brian Hayes.
Well, it's hard to take down the champ, but I'll tell you what, this kid is pretty spectacular. And it took me a while to win my first one, so it wouldn't surprise me if going to take him a little while to knock off Arenado.
Times have changed a little bit, though, with the metrics. You know, it's not
Agreed.
always the favorite one sometimes.
Clearly.
They'll switch it up a little bit sooner. Hey, Wayno will take that 2-pitch out right there, though, for his total pitch count at 64 in the bottom of the 7th.
How about this? So it's the 255th time Adam Wainwright has gone 6 or more innings in a start. The Cardinals are 178 and 76 when he does that. And so far, Cardinal pitching in this series, it's been 51 batters now, and the Pirates have a total of 3 hits. Line out off the bat of Reynolds to Tommy Edman.
We're going into Greg Maddux territory here.
Telling you, Hank. Here's Colin Moran. He has 2 hits tonight, and that's the 2 for the Pirates. Park had the home run last night, and that has been it.
Let's start him off with a sinker away again, even though he got a base hit off of it last time.
Cardinals trying to make this their longest winning streak at PNC. Trying to make it 9 tonight. The previous high was 8 between 18 and 19. Adam Wainwright has been so efficient tonight. So as you mentioned, pitch count not even at 70. He's had 2 3-ball counts. And so if he can get this out, this will be the 12th time this year. 7 more innings, second most in baseball. Zach Wheeler with 15. 7 innings, 2 runs or less 10 times this season. The numbers just keep piling up. And a ground ball, more weak contact. Tommy Edman. Adam Wainwright with a 7-pitch inning. Man, is this fun to watch. 4-0. '21 Cardinals yearbook celebrates the anniversaries of the 06 and 11 championships, bringing together more than 30 Cardinals who made them happen. Read their personal stories, magical title runs. Pick up a copy at the ballpark, cardinals.com/yearbook, or call 314-345-9000. And again, next Tuesday night, David Freese back in St. Louis. David Freese night at the ballpark, and can't wait to see the hometown hero come back to St. Louis. Kind of his official welcome back home to David Freese. Jason Shreve, Chevy call to the pen.
Always great to see guys come back, whether it's, you know, an older player, a younger player, someone who was around for a while. But this guy, David Freese, things didn't happen for this organization if it wasn't for him. And I mean, is there more fun than watching a David Freese highlight?
No.
It's just awesome.
I watched, I've probably seen the Game 6 home run, I don't know, 200 times at least. Shreve pitches to Bader, and I was talking to David a couple of days ago. I said, you've probably seen it a million times. Do you find something new every time with it? And he said, what I find is I watch the fans. He said his exact quote was, he said, I could be at Schnucks and look at somebody getting their milk and say, you were at Game 6. I noticed you from the crowd.
That's awesome.
He said, I notice everybody. He said he picks up something new with the crowd every time.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Still following the Cardinals. He said he checks every night, every morning on what the Cardinals are doing. As Bader pops it up. Perez, foul territory, makes the catch. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Convenient access to your money anywhere and award-winning support anytime. Great Southern Bank, rated the #1 bank in America by our customers, according to Forbes.
Here's Paul DeYoung. 2 for 3 tonight. Key double that scored 2 on an 0-2 pitch back in the 6th inning. By the way, I offered to catch Hank his first pitch if they couldn't get Ozzie. They're going to try to get Ozzie at the ballpark because for David, he said that was my favorite player growing up. He said I loved Ozzie, and I said, well, if you can't get Ozzie, you can slum it with me.
That's a lot of pressure right there, man.
I got a feeling Ozzie's going to show up.
I got a feeling too.
That is a lot of pressure catching one of those first pitches. Almost.
How about the guy throwing
it? Yeah, I've been there too.
The 2-0 is lifted in the air out to deep left.
Give him some
and
love.
It's caught up against the wall by Park. Paulie's had some good at-bats tonight.
Great at-bats tonight. It's like a new guy.
Oh, so close.
And fans checking out. Was a foot or two higher, I would have had a souvenir.
He needed that one. Wanted that one.
That is a big one right there. That would have been a big one. That's a year turnarounder right there. That's a big homer when you're in a slump.
Yes, clawing your way out of there. You want those.
Now Tommy Edman. I also asked David, I said, now you've had a chance, and it's hard to believe it's 10 years. But how did that night change your life? And he said, I'm finally embracing it. He said, I understand what it means to the Cardinal fans. I'm a Cardinal fan. I'm always going to be a St. Louisan. I'm always going to be going to the ballpark. And so for as long as I live, people, this is what he said. He goes, as long as I live, Jimmy, people are going to be talking about that home run. And he said, and I love it. And now from a guy that didn't want to be the center of attention, he is, and he said, I embrace it, and I love it. Fly ball into right. Polanco the catch near the track. And Waino back to work for the bottom of the 8th. Shreve, the former Cardinal, scoreless inning, and it's 4-0.
Weston in our Valley Sports Studios here in St. Louis. Cardinals live post-game show comes your way following tonight's telecast. Jim Edmonds and Rick Ankiel will stick around, help me break this one down. Chat about their old buddy Adam Wainwright, his night on the mound and at the plate, plus plenty of player reaction comes your way. Let's go back to Danny and the guys.
All right, Erica, thank you. And Adam Wainwright, certainly the story in this ball game. Again, 7 or more for the 5th straight game for Adam. Last time he did that was in 2014, and that was a year he won 20 games. He was 3rd in the Cy Young vote. So he's well within reach. You would have to think 6 outs away, potential complete game. The fewest pitches by a Cardinal in a 9-inning shutout, 89. It was Jaime Garcia against the Giants, August 22nd of 2010.
Oh, he's got a chance. Come on, Waino.
Pitch number 70 is a strike, and we're underway here in the home half of the 8th inning.
I don't know about you guys, but being able to throw a 9-inning complete game in under that many pitches is the most impressive thing that I've always paid attention to as a player, honestly.
Well, you think about it, Hank. Last time he had a complete game win. Now, he's had some complete games and lost earlier this year. That happened, but it was the famous game for Waino last year, August 30th, 2020, against Cleveland. They needed him. The bullpen was just shot after a couple of tough games. And in that game, Hank, 122 pitches. So to your point, a lot of times guys go deep into a game like this. You know, you're talking 100 pitches, then you're getting to 110, 115, 120. He said 72 pitches.
You know, you just don't see it, and that's the thing that's so astounding by it is we're so used to seeing a guy have 70 pitches in the 4th inning.
That's strikeout number 7 for Adam Wainwright. Now, his complete game this year was back on the 26th of April. You may remember that ball game against the Phillies at Busch Stadium. Rhys Hoskins hit a couple of home runs, and he actually went the distance and lost the game. Sandy Alcantara did that against the Cardinals in a day game for Miami against St. Louis. Went the distance but lost.
Hank, what do you got on movement and heat and humidity? You're going to get more movement with the heat and humidity than the dryness, or is it more or less just the elevation, like say Denver versus other places?
I tend to feel like there's more movement when it's humid, but you know, I'm a Florida kid and I just felt better like that.
Yeah, well, we're looking at Florida humidity today is why I'm asking. It's 81% humidity there, and it's 80 degrees. So well, it's 75 now, but I was just noticing some of those fastballs inside are moving like the Adam Wainwright of old, and I was just curious if there was just a little bit more drag with that humidity.
2-0 pitch.
I feel like there is, but also the wind. I mean, you know that if you got a little bit of breeze in your face, the ball you can really make the ball move because the seams are going against the air. Yep.
Another beauty in there. Started out 2-0 and now 2-2. Haven't seen many 3-ball counts tonight for Adam Wainwright.
Look at that, just perfect execution, perfect rotation.
Hey, Hank, I got to ask you, when you see the curveball and the index finger is up from Adam Wainwright, which sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. It's about grip, but did you ever tinker with that, and what's he trying to do with that?
Yeah, I tinkered with as many grips as you possibly could, but really it's all, no matter how you hold it, some guys will hold it with the finger off, with a knuckle, and then the middle finger on. It's all about the fingertip of the middle finger. That's the last thing the ball comes off, and you need to make sure you feel it on that fingertip.
2-2.
whether you hold both fingers on or not.
So
Now
that
3 and
that
2.
first finger doesn't really do anything.
No.
Is what you're saying anyways.
Right.
Have you ever seen guys throw a breaking ball with that first finger, or as you get older, I'm just going back from like when I was a kid, as you get older, do you eventually get to the point where this is how you're supposed to throw it and this gets you the best break?
No, it's just what's comfortable in your hands.
Gotcha.
3-2 pitch.
You know what I mean, though?
I do. Like it's almost like simplifying it.
Yeah, throw it with your first finger.
Bader under it to make the catch. The last base hit for the Pirates was in the 5th inning. He's allowed 2 tonight.
I feel like
10, now 11 in a row.
I feel like you see that a lot with hitters. You can go back and look at Tony Gwynn when he was a rookie, and he's moving all over the place, a lot of bat wiggle, and as you look at him when he's older, a lot more simpler.
This will be Wilmer Defoe. He's been a very good pinch hitter this season for the Pirates, and looks at a breaking ball low.
Yachty wanted that.
You see Waino and Yachty too. Always in sync, it seems like, with these two. Rarely, if ever, does Waino shake him off, and they just seem to be on the same page, know each other so well. Start number 296 together. The 1-0 pitch lined into center. Bader diving catch. Harrison Bader in center. Oh, what a play.
I mean, that's a great play right there. You've got to catch that ball in a game like this.
Yeah, you do. And another head first dive. Perfect.
But at the plate, the 39-year-old has made a difference for the Cardinals. Here's a ground rule double. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. And then a base hit up the middle. That brought in a run off the bat of Adam Wainwright in the 6th inning, as DeYoung was just in there safely. And tonight, Adam Wainwright, who is due up first, will try to finish off what would be his 27th complete game of his career, and do it again at the age of 39.
This is an at-bat in a game like this where I'm not even sure if you want to get a hit. You want to get back to the dugout and rest for the 9th inning.
I was just thinking that, Hank. You think well, knowing Waino, he's going to try to hit. But this is our Chevy call to the pen. Banda, the lefty, is in. But do you think he initially tries to put it in play and just goes back to the dugout?
This is one where you try to hit a homer.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
Well, you know, when we were talking about the humidity, I don't know if you were watching, but I was paying attention. He's not sweating. He wasn't breathing heavy. I'm like, this is a situation where, like, I'm sure he's like, you know what? I'm feeling great. I'm going for it.
Well, if he goes 7 for his next 7, he'll get that career batting average back up to 200. And the first pitch taken low.
As good as he's seeing it tonight, though, you got to take a shot for a homer.
2-0. Cardinals have out-hit Pittsburgh 8-2 in the ball game. Wainwright had a 1-hit complete game shutout back in 2014 against Arizona. He has had 4 2-hit complete game shutouts. There's a strike, 3-1.
Well, just a complete game shutout. It's just unbelievable in the big leagues.
The 3-1 pitch, 3-2.
It was right there, Hank.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's not going to try to hit that ball to center or right center. That lefty with the ball running away from him, he's still trying to launch left center, and that might be what got him right there.
3-2 pitch, and he strikes out. Not necessarily the worst thing. Get him off the bases.
No.
While we have a moment, quick word from Victory Men's Health.
You gave me my youth back. Improved strength, muscle mass, and energy.
Thanks to Victory Men's Health, there are more guys feeling better than ever. Join the movement. Visit VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Well, the last pitcher, Wainwright's age or older, 39 or older, to throw a complete game against Pittsburgh, Phil Niekro. He was 42 back in 1981. It's been a long time. Dylan Carlson at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dylan hitting .340 against lefties this year. And tonight he has struck out, walked, and grounded out.
It seems like that's all of a sudden caught up too.
Yes.
Recently, he's been swinging the bat a lot better right-handed, and it's a tough feat to be able to be good from both sides of the plate all the time.
2-2 the count.
Not really sure if I was to play again, and if I was hitting left-handed, that I would ever want to be a switch hitter. It seems like it is just hard enough to hit from one side, maybe not.
Base hit into right center. Carlson stopping at first. Wide turn there. He's on base for the second time.
I know what you're saying, but I would definitely want a homer from both sides of the plate in the same game. That seems like that's the ultimate.
What is that, Hank? It's okay.
Yeah, beating my chest. How do you like me now?
Mm-hmm. There's Paul Goldschmidt. Hitting streak now at 5 games for Dylan Carlson. And how about a home run for Paul Goldschmidt?
That would be fun.
Pitch taken inside.
Got a home run for everyone.
2-0.
Everybody's doing it.
They're passing him out on the corner.
What do you think about starting the runner here? You just had a mound meeting. It's 2-0. He's going to throw his strike. You had Arenado on deck. You got a 4-run lead. Hank, you with that? Start the runner?
I'm with that. I think anything you can do to, well, add on and potentially speed this up.
The 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
I think you're gonna, as a manager, you know your players, and you know guys, and you know if you can run with a guy hitting or do not want to run with the guy hitting. And I think, to be honest with you, if I'm a manager and I'm saying, hey, we're not scoring runs, I'm going to the team and saying, hey, everyone, we're going to start running while we're hitting. So don't be caught off guard. And if you have a problem with that, you need to come and talk to me, because I'll listen and I will not run with Goldie hitting if he doesn't like it. But what I'd like to do is not catch anyone off guard, and I would like to start moving some guys and telling guys, hey, I want you to be aggressive, and if you get a strike, hit it. I'm not looking for stolen bases. I'm looking for balls in play and movement.
It's a third walk issued to Paul Goldschmidt tonight. Chance for Arenado with runners at first and second and 1 down.
Jimmy, when you were hitting, if the guy on first took off, would that bother you? Could you see him?
You could feel it, and it wouldn't bother me, but if I had a pitch to take, I would probably take it. I would rather hit with a guy on second or third than the guy on first, for sure.
Yeah, me too. I didn't like if I was in an 0-2, 1-2 count with a guy on second. I didn't want him to go then.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yep.
A lot of guys don't like it from second, and that's why I was saying, like, you know, you want to know who can and can't, or not can and can't, who likes it or doesn't like it, or who it affects. But like I said, I think it's, you know, as a manager, you almost have to go to your group and be like, this is what I want to start doing, everyone. We're not scoring runs.
Not getting that inside portion of the plate. Nolan Arenado tonight grounded into a double play in the first, walked in the fourth, singled and scored in the sixth, and flied to left. So Goldschmidt, 3 walks, ties the Cardinal single high, which was last done by O'Neill. The ball game on Sunday against Kansas City. He stands at first, Carlson at second with 1 down. Pirates have 8, 9, and 1 coming up in the bottom of the ninth, and now time is called. 1 ball and no strikes. Gets away, but the runners stay put.
I love this camera. It's incredible.
You get ice cream, and then you take home your little souvenir there.
And you get to play at the raindrops.
Yep.
Whatever keeps them busy.
So visit on the mound here for the Pirates with a count of 2 balls, no strikes on Nolan Arenado. Tyler O'Neill on deck. If you just joined us, it has been a sensational night for Adam Wainwright at the plate. 2 for 4 with a double, ground rule double back in the 5th. RBI single to center. And he'll be trying to pick up his 27th complete game of his career and 11th complete game shutout. 3 outs away. Cardinals trying to add to the lead. The 2-0 pitch. Arenado, double play ball. The turn, hits into his second double play tonight. Adam Wainwright will try to finish what he started when we come back. Here, the Budweiser player of the game is Adam Wainwright, pitching tonight into the 9th inning. Waino with 2 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, and a shutout going into the 9th inning with a score of 4-0. He always says his goal is the first number of his pitch count, the same as his inning. He had 50 through 5, 70 pitches through 70, and he has had 82 through 8. So basically 3 pitches per batter. It's been sensational. Michael Perez, the first hitter here in the bottom of the ninth. His first complete game was August 10th of 2007, 14 years ago yesterday. Perez has popped out to second. He is flied out to right. The first pitch, bottom of the ninth, swung on and hit out to center. Bader back with room and makes the catch. Another fine play by Harrison Bader. He had the diving catch to end the bottom of the 8th and starts the 9th with a fine play near the wall in center. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Well, like I said, in a game like this, you better catch this ball, and you have to catch this ball.
What a great play. You know, he hasn't really had any action, that type of action behind him besides the one he dove for, but running back on that, the first pitch of the inning, wondering if the Pirates are going to swing at it or not.
Now Newman. The last complete game shutout for Adam Wainwright is you get a look at Bader, July 16th of 2016 against Miami when the 06 team was at Busch Stadium and he went the distance. 0-2. He's had 85 pitches. The fewest pitches in a complete game for Waino was 94 back in 2009. The 0-2 pitch. He's trying to do something tonight that hasn't been done since September 28th of 2011. The 1-2 pitch to Newman. And a fly ball. Left field. Bader again! Diving for it. Harrison Bader is putting on a show tonight. The diving catch to end the 8th. Catch near the wall to start this inning, and another diving play.
He's letting it all hang out. We just need this next one to go out there so he can go ahead and set a record.
Last pitcher in baseball, age 39 or older, with a complete game shutout. Only 2 hits or less. Miguel Batista in 2011. Ground ball off the glove of Waino. The pick by Goldie. He does it. 88 pitches. He is 18 days away from his 40th birthday, and tonight he gets his 27th complete game, his 11th complete game shutout. Only 2 hits allowed. Adam Wainwright, 4-0 the final, and he was absolutely magnificent.
What do you say? Just let it ride. I mean, incredible. And you know what? Yachty said walking out to the mound, that's incredible.
The fewest pitches in Cardinals history for a complete game shutout. 88 tonight. Adam Wainwright, 4-0 the final. He's almost 40. This isn't supposed to be happening.
So you say.
Wow. We're back with more in a moment. Waino's 11-6.